You couldn't tell from how we act in traffic, but Sri Lankans are actually great in a crisis. During the recent floods, we basically saved our own asses, with a lot of help from the military and not much help from the government. So some politicians like Sujiwa Senasinghe put their face on relief goods, which is about as useful as a dog pissing on them. No offense. So how does the government actually prepare for disasters? Since we kind of couldn't tell. So after the tsunami, we were like, this sucks, and we set up a Ministry of Disaster Management. Now this ministry has a minister and a deputy minister. Here's their faces on bags of rice. If you can guess what their names are, I will give you some rice. So to manage these guys, we need a national council that has 37 people on it. The president, the prime minister, 22 ministers, every chief minister, and 5 members of the opposition. It's basically a tour bus full of ministers that will come to your disaster and put their face on it. Now what these guys manage is 4 organizations that do the actual work. So it's the Department of Meteorology, the Disaster Management Center, and the National Disaster Relief Services Center, or NDRSC, and the National Building Research Organization. Now I've been doing some reading and I can't really tell the Disaster Management Center and the Disaster Relief Center apart. Together they both seem to have a budget of about 1.5 billion rupees. However, neither one can maintain a working Facebook page, the emergency hotline number doesn't work, and both of their websites are pretty crap. Now so what? Who cares about a website? Who cares if they understand mobile phones? A lot of their job is rebuilding houses and stuff. Well, the difference between a hazard and an actual disaster is very often information. And having our government have the communication skills of like a teenager might help. We know that it rains every May. Here's a chart. We also know the floods are our #1 problem, even bigger than the tsunami. Here's another chart. I forgot the third chart. Wait. Oh yeah. We also know where floods will happen. Here's a map. So the government has all this information. It just isn't able to communicate it. I'm criticizing them, but the government is essential for handling relief. This is their job. They know where the relief centers are. They know what relief is needed. They just can't send a tweet to send their lives. The tsunami was one wake-up call, but this should be another wake-up call. It's 2016 and we just can't do this anymore. We don't need a whole ministry. We just need a few minions that can use the internet. Just the average amount of information a teenager shares on a Thursday could have saved millions of dollars, or even lives. Just look at what the private sector did with little to no information at all. PickMe, a taxi company, deployed boats and planes and went and picked up relief from your house. ReadMe, which is just a tech blog, maintained a really good list of disaster relief centers and what they needed. And Dialogue, which is a phone company, collected over 45 million rupees in donations from what I guess is about 300,000 people. This is not what these people even do. They have day jobs, but in a matter of days, they did amazing work, as did a lot of private citizens. But still, we need help from the government, especially information. So to the Ministry of Disaster Management, please don't be like this rusty-ass phone, which actually doesn't work. Get on social media, get on the internet. Tell us if a disaster is going to happen, and if it happens, tell us how we can help. If you give Sri Lankans a little bit of information, you'll be surprised how awesome we can be.
Shalom Chavrim, I'm Stephen Ben Danoon, and I wanted to have a little heart-to-heart with you guys to let you guys know what's going on here at Danoon Institute of Biblical Research. We're also running Israeli News Live, and we're trying to take this ministry to a new level, full-time in the ministry, to be able to get news to you as well as the things that God reveals to my heart so that you can have a greater perspective of what's going on in the world. Recently, though, we've come under attack in a numerous ways here, and it's been going on for quite some time. The first attack that came was our website, our internet here at the house. The website was totally knocked offline on an independent server separate from us here. It was totally wiped out. Then our internet service, the cable, the same day was cut, so we could not have internet. Right after that, then whoever is behind all of this decides to spam everyone in our Israel Returns email that I'm stranded in India and need desperate help, please send money. course, they wipe out the entire list that's in there, so I have no way to be able to contact those people and let them know that this is all falsified. I don't even think it's really about sending money in a particular place. I think it's just actually orchestrated. The Vatican, no doubt, behind it. Maybe even the NSA is behind it, the U.S. government, because the things that we speak to you about are things that they do not want you to know about. That's just where it really comes down to. And secondly, the ministry is so large, there's no way for me to control this ministry on my own. I actually have a staff of people that work with us. My wife, being chief and foremost in this ministry, in fact, she'd be better off behind the camera for the things that God reveals to her as well. But she also is very strong in the background, researching and helping me sort through emails, as well as Brother Aaron. Aaron handles the website and does noteworthy news to keep you guys up to date with the information that is going on there. And then we have Sister Lisa Tesh, who works with us on our Facebook and gets important information to me that I need to be aware of, and helps us in a number of other ways as well. I have seen also, besides the attacks that we've had from the government and people that are doing that, I've seen people as well, people that we have loved and people that we still love, that have attacked, in this case here, both my wife as well as Sister Lisa Tesh. She has been attacked as well, and both of them, it was totally uncalled for. And we dealt with both situations the best way we knew how, and we dealt with that privately. It's not something that we will mention here, but the point is our love is for you, and including the staff that works with me. We love you guys dearly. And if we do something that offends you, come to us as a brother and a sister. Tell us your concerns with love, if there is something like that. We don't mind listening, and we don't mind correcting if we've done something wrong. But sometimes there's issues that we need to know about, and that in my staff working with me will reach out to find out information so that we can help other people as well. None of our things that we're trying to accomplish are clandestine. Our job and our desire is to help the body of Christ to move forward. And even in the case where we've had people that have done things that were very offensive, our love is still for them. And we ask that God be merciful and will help them to understand the way we feel as well. And certainly, we ask no ill on anyone, but that God's mercy would be to them as well, and that they know that we forgive them too. In some cases, things get really bad, and we have to ban a person altogether. And that happened in the case with Sister Lisa Tesh. The attack came so hard against her that we had to ban the person completely from our channel, from the Facebook page, etc., because the propaganda and the lies that were spread publicly. And that's another big issue, especially in the case of my wife, because in the case of my wife, if there's something that you feel, come to me about it. Because just like with Abraham and Sarah, if anything were to happen to Sarah, it happened to Abraham as well, because God had called both of them together. And it's the same way it is with us here. We're called together in the ministry. And so my wife, it's really, it comes against me as well. And I also feel the same love for Brother Aaron and Sister Lisa and their work and their love for us here in the ministry, their tireless efforts that they do. And so we love you guys, and I want you to know that what we're trying to do here is to help people along. And another thing I wanted to mention to you as well on this same matter, and I know that many of you have come to me because your love and concern for us in regards to some of the programs that I have been a guest on. And you've warned me, saying that certain things are going on and you should be aware of this, Brother Steve. I do thank you for making me aware of things that are going on. I do appreciate that, and I don't want to belittle that. That is important, because sometimes I go on a program and I totally am unaware. I went on a program some time back, and several brothers that I'm very close to, they warned me there as well that there were issues that I was unaware of. And Also, in another case recently, a program that I was on, I was being warned that the person in this program has two sides. He'll agree with you, but then preaches totally opposite of what you believe. But keep in mind, while there's still daylight, there's time to work. And my desire is to see those people as well saved and come out of whatever they're in. Regardless of what you do in life, no matter how far you stoop in sin, God is still able to bring you out. And also the people that follow these people. If I'm invited, I realize there comes a time that I must separate when it gets totally out of control. That is true. But as long as I can speak my heart and I can tell the people what's true, even their people will hear and maybe do something about it. But in some cases, when I'm made aware of those issues going on in the background of a ministry that I may go be a part, as far as go be a part of their interview, it's good to know, because in cases like that, I like to personally contact that individual and talk to them privately to try to reconcile them, to try to get them to realize that the direction they're going in is not of God. And that's one of my main issues that I do. We see that Yeshua was the same way. When Jesus of Nazareth was on the earth, they were always telling him, do you not realize who you're associating yourself with? In fact, the Pharisees would get on to him because he associated with the poor and the down and out. And then his own disciples would be wondering, why in the world is he going to the Pharisees and stuff? And like Simon, the rich ruler. Always remember one thing. Like in the case of Simon especially, this is the case that we're more like. It's also, if Simon refuses to heed the call, then judgment is brought upon him. So when we do visit these places, my purpose and my intention is to get those people to believe and to try to get them to recognize the error in what they're doing by speaking the truth to start with. And also, when it comes to the people that work with us here in the ministry, always remember, this is the dearest to my heart, my wife first and foremost, and also Brother Aaron and Sister Lisa, who mean the world to me. So anything that were to happen to them, if you have an issue, take it up with me, because when you're saying something to them and hurting them, you're hurting me as well. I love you guys tremendously, and I think you'll understand what I mean by this. Not everybody is part of that. I don't mean that there, but I felt like that I needed to bring this also publicly. And nothing in shame to the persons that have been involved in these attacks on my wife and Sister Lisa, but to let you know that they are a part of this ministry just as much. And without them, it would be nearly impossible for me to do it. In fact, I might be able to do a little tiny thing, making YouTube videos, but I wouldn't be able to stay in contact with you guys, which I know is such a vital part, that we're in contact together, so I can hear your voice and hear the things that are on your heart as well. So I just wanted to let you guys know that follow us here. This is, we're just a little family here trying to put the word of God out to you guys. Shalom and Erev Tov.